Hello, guys, and welcome to the first podcast featuring myself. And now you see, this is going to confuse me because on Zoom he's to my left, but on OBS he's below me. So below me is owazrim. Introduce yourself, owazrim.
Hi, I'm owazrim. I stream on Twitch and do a little bit on YouTube, and I like to collect the Sega Master System and just general retro stuff, except for not a lot of NES or Super Nintendo because that stuff's just overly bad. Sega.
Sorry, I had to. And on my left. No, he's on my left, but he's below me on Zoom. I'm so confused. On my left, litwarski. Introduce yourself, dude.
Yeah, I'm litwarski, and I don't stream, but I do YouTube videos, mostly on Amiga and Commodore 64 stuff.
Show us your Amiga and Commodore 64 stuff, sir. Go on,
Yeah.
show us your stuff.
Okay, so
Watch
I
this.
have this.
He's just going to swap over on this. Look at that, see? Now you can see me. Hi.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have, is
yes.
that an Amiga 1200 I see there, or is that a 5?
That's 500.
A 500.
1200 here on this other table.
All right, okay. Cool. So you got a bit of Amiga there, got a bit of Sega, and me, I suppose I better introduce myself as well. I'm Steve's Retro. I am a streamer, and I'm just starting out again on YouTube, and I like to play a lot of Sega. I've got some Nintendo, some Japanese stuff, and I generally rage quit and get bored of games within, what, 15 seconds maybe? Yeah, 15 seconds.
That's being generous.
I know, being very generous. So we've got, and I've got, what have I got to show off just now? I've got this thing. I picked this up in a mobile phone shop, believe it or not, run by dodgy looking people. And this is a Game Station gear. Game Station used to be a fantastic gaming shop in the UK. And this is a Game Station gear GameCube controller for the Wii, and it's absolutely fucking awful. We are allowed to swear in this podcast because I don't mind. It is terrible. It's probably one of the worst GameCube controllers I could have bought. I could have bought an official one. I could have bought a third party one that looked exactly like it and felt it. That's it out of the box. So it's a bit fat.
Nowhere near.
Is that a wave bird maybe, no? Or is-
Wave bird.
See, I don't like it because it's a bit fat in the corners. It should be a bit thinner. But it
Yeah.
does the job. I think I overpaid for it by £5 as well. So that is my bit.
You get what you pay for, yeah.
It's very dark, but for the CD32.
STD32.
Or Super Famicom-ish.
So what do we do on this podcast? Well, hopefully the podcast is going to be a bi-monthly thing. Hopefully myself, owazrim, and litwarski will be regulars. Well, obviously I'll be a regular, you know. It was my idea. And we'll
Your
have some...
podcast. You're not going to really be here.
Nah, I'm not. I'll just leave it up to you guys.
He's just starting us off.
Yeah. So we're going to have some guests, and when we don't have guests, it'll be the three of us, and we'll try and think of a topic to talk about today. But today, we're just going to talk about what we love about retro, what got us started, why Alf is loved by owazrim so much and hated by everybody else. Tell us why. Why do you love Alf so much? I mean,
What's not to love?
the TV program is good. Don't get me wrong. I love the TV program, but the game.
The game for the Master System. This isn't the actual cover. This is a paper one that I made, and
the game's just awful.
it's one of those games that's so horribly bad, but if you play it enough, you start to like it and get an appreciation for it.
No.
And there's no doubt that it's a bad game.
Well, it's a terrible game. Here's my philosophy. Any game with bats in it should be banned. Bats in games are evil. There's even bats in...
Batman.
But you see, he's not fighting against bats. He is the bat, so that doesn't count. But nice try.
There's bats in Batman games, though.
Well, they should be banned then. That's it. Ban.
Some of them.
Is there any bans in Amiga games? I can't think of any. Is there Castlevania on the Amiga?
Yeah, and that's one horrible game.
Okay,
on
but
Amiga.
ban the Amiga then. Ban the Amiga. So right, let's talk collections now. Waz, you've got a massive collection. We can see it behind you, and next to you. What would you say is your most prized possession? And without telling anybody how much you paid, what is your most expensive item of your collection? I'm going to guess it's going to be your FM sound unit, but I could be wrong.
The most prized is not very valuable.
Oh, it's Alf.
No, that's actually kind of valuable for some strange reason.
Oh,
I think it would be my Desert Strike for the Sega Genesis.
really? Desert
That
Strike?
was the first game that I got.
Ah, right. Okay, that makes sense.
But I got it before I got the system, and so it got yanked out of my hands when I was opening it. Because,
Whoa.
like, when they were handing the presents out at Christmas, Dad handed me the game.
Oh dear.
And didn't realize it, and then tore off one corner. I just remember, like, it's not a Genesis cart, but I got a corner revealed, and Mom grabbed it and just yanked it out of my hands. Like, you can't have that yet.
So they gave you the wrong present first. That's that. I think that's happened to me before as well. But
Yeah.
okay, so Desert Strike, because that was the first game you got for the system you didn't have at the time until
Yes.
Santa Claus came later on and went, "There you go, son, have a Genesis."
Yeah, a few minutes later, but because Dad's been gone for almost 20 years, that's just a good memory I have of him and gaming, and Desert Strike in particular was something, Desert Storm, and he was very appreciative of the armed forces, and so there's a special connection with the game and how I got it, and with Dad, and like I said, it's almost been 20 years since he passed away.
It's a strange memory, and just because most people would have like fond memories of their parents, like doing nice things with them, not stealing presents away from them. No, you can't have that.
well, he handed it to me. Mom's the one that took it, so it's got a shared memory.
Okay then. And your most valuable, what would you say is your most valuable part of your collection?
Like an individual item.
That's a tricky one because you've got a huge collection.
And I don't think it's anything to do with the Sega Master System or the Mark III or the SG-1000.
Wow.
Or the, it's probably Gotcha Force for the GameCube loose, because that game goes for a ridiculous price. And I've had that game. I got it when the GameCube was a current gen system.
I've never heard of it. Well, I'm guessing it's going to be an RPG.
No.
Oh.
It is. It's kind of like a catch-em-all game. You've got gotcha boards, and you're trying to collect them. But you go through, and it's a third-person. I don't know, because depending on what kind of vehicle you are, or robot you choose, or Borg you choose, like the main character has a sword, so he has a bunch of melee attacks and a couple of ranged attacks. But you can get jets, and once you get there, you can get a giant UFO that's floating up above the entire map and just shooting lasers down at everything. You can get dragons, but you've got to collect the little pieces as you play. And it's a really fun game. If I recall correctly, it's made by Capcom.
Oh,
and
Japan Capsule
I think it would do great as a modern. Bring it forward. You wouldn't even necessarily have to upgrade the graphics, but bring it forward and make it so you can trade Borgs with your buddies, because you had to use the GameCube memory cards to do that.
Okay, so before we carry on, just apologise to anybody that's actually watching on Twitch, as I have dropped 7,700 frames in the space of 11 minutes. I have no idea why. Okay, so let's move on to yourself, litwarski. Let's ask you the same questions. What got you started in collecting, and your most prized possession, and your most expensive one?
Yeah, so when I started collecting, the first question.
Yes.
Yes. I started collecting pretty much last year, January, when I started feeling that I really enjoyed doing this Amiga and Commodore stuff. So
you're an early collector then, not Like you've not been collecting for like half your life or anything like that? Just
No.
last year. Okay.
Yeah, that more expensive this way, but
Definitely. I think the older stuff gets, the more expensive it gets, which is why I'm worth quite a lot of money. So your collection, what's your most prized possession? I'm just going to fathom a guess at one of your Amigas.
yeah, I don't really collect games as such, so it has to be a machine, and I think that the prized and most valuable are the same thing in this case. So my Amiga 4000 is
Amiga
they are
4000.
expensive.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are. I don't know a lot about older computers. I don't especially know much about Amigas. I mean, growing up, I had an Amiga 600, and a couple of years ago, I had a 500. But I don't know much about the 4000. Tell us a little bit about the 4000. What makes it different from like the computers people would have in their homes, like the 500, the 600. What makes the 4000 stand out differently from your usual home computers that you would get?
Well, I'd say two things. So the earlier Amigas has the OCS and ECS chipsets. So the 4000 and 1200 then have the AGA chipset, which is more colorful and more resolutions. And the games can have better graphics. So it's not often as much used.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They didn't get used as much as they should have.
No.
Is there a decent homebrew side for the Amiga these days?
Yeah, there are public domain games which really work only on AGA machines and
Have you
not on
tried?
the earlier ones.
Have you tried any programming yourself? I've no idea what assembly, what language they use. Is it assembly or Pascal or something like that? I have no idea.
Yeah, not myself. I just used Amiga Basic to make text
Amiga
animations.
Basic. Okay, that's fair enough.
But
So
there's Amos would be one bit. That's one Amiga particular language.
right. So when you're doing your YouTube videos, what do you base them on? Do you do like gameplay throughs, or do you just talk about the Amiga? And if you want to tell people what your YouTube channel is, then by all means do so, and we can check that out as well. And I'll maybe pop it in the chat for Twitch.
Yeah. So I started with doing gameplay videos. So I have quite many some kind of not reviews, but kind of reviews. So gameplay videos of Amiga and C64 games.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got tired of that and started doing more of these hardware and software stuff.
Ah, right, okay. So you prefer the hardware side of stuff then, yeah?
Well, it's somehow it's more fun to do, and maybe I get more viewers also, so viewers will enjoy those more.
Right. So if I was to do hardware stuff, it'd probably be hardware me breaking things more than likely. Because I mean, I do like to do. I mean, every PC I've built by myself. But if it comes to soldering, I can't solder for toffee. I have tried and I've failed many times. So I have a good friend who does it for me. He still charges me though, but he does it for me. So let's. I suppose better talk about what got me into then. You see, I've been a gamer since the mid 70s, when the old Pong things came out with the two dials and black and white things on the screen. Well, white things on a black screen. But it all really kicked off for me when my parents worked in a pub, and the owner had an Asteroids arcade machine, and he used to put that on free play for me when we were in at the weekends, before the pub opened, by the way, not when the pub was open, because kids were not really allowed in pubs back then. So that started off for me, and then I think the first console I got properly was the Vectrex. I don't know if you guys know much about the Vectrex. I know it didn't last very long, but it was a fantastic machine. It was vector graphics, It had its own screen, and they were expensive. And nowadays, probably about £500 for an unboxed one. And I've had 3 in my life, and I don't have one now, and I still wish I did. And then Sega Master System, which I've got one in front of me. Sega Mega Drive, which you can just see in the background. And yeah, just kind of went on from there, and I just carry on there, just like doing the Twitch streams. So that's my story. That's it shortened down, because I could go on for hours about that. But let's talk about Sega, because otherwise you've got a Sega t-shirt on there. What is it about Sega you love so much?
It was the first home console I got.
I'm not going to press the button because I didn't want to interrupt you there.
Oh, I was waiting for you to hit it. No,
okay, hit the button.
But
wrong one. I'll take it away. We want the one that goes. We know which one we want, right?
That was long.
That'll do.
That'll do. Sega. But yeah, it was the first home console we got because we started off with the Commodore 64 at the house, and that was when my dad worked for a disc manufacturing company at the time. But my brother ended up getting a Game Boy, and then a year or two later, I got a Sega Genesis. And I just, since then, Sega, the retro Sega stuff, because their current stuff, I don't do a lot of modern.
No.
So all their retro stuff I like.
I don't like modern stuff.
They've got
either.
good games, and it's I think they're really underappreciated. Kind of like the GameCube for Nintendo, really underappreciated.
What about newer Sega stuff? Do you play any of their newer stuff like Streets of Rage 4? Did you play that at all?
I played Streets of Rage 4. Actually, I've only played it when I was playing with somebody else.
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was very good. I didn't like the graphic style. I didn't like the music. I didn't like the gameplay. Hey, that's me in a nutshell these days. I just don't like anything, do I?
You don't.
I don't like stuff.
Did you play it solo?
Well, I don't have any friends, so yeah, I played it solo.
Smack you around.
Well,
But
somebody's
I
got
only
to.
played it online because I'm like, well, I don't want to play it by myself. And I think I played it. I think it was the day it came out or the weekend it came out or something, and just played it. And he and I played through the entire storyline, and we had fun. And I was like, oh yeah, we need to do this again. And I haven't.
Never done it.
We
No.
haven't come back and done it. There's just so much other stuff to play.
What do you guys think about the mini consoles? You know, the little minis like the Sega,
Yep.
the Astro City Mini, and there's a title. Is it an Egret 2 Mini that's coming out next year? I think next March. They're making one of them. Retro Salaryman, welcome to the channel, dude. At the moment, channel points are off for the podcast. I was supposed to put that in thing, but thank you for being here. Yeah, so what do you guys think about the Sega Mini? Litwarski, have you seen it? It's just a little, I don't know, maybe about...
I've got one.
You've got one?
Yeah. I got the mini. I've got an NES, the SNES, TurboGrafx 16.
No, not those minis. No, not the ones with the screens. The Sega Astro City Mini comes with a little screen and the joystick.
I wouldn't mind having one of those because I mean it's about the size of this, maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah, what is that? I see
it's
the
a
word.
Robotech arcade.
Oh,
Little tabletop arcade.
I've never seen that before.
Let me get it.
The only ones I remember is the little grandstand electronic games like Firefox and it was called Astro Wars over here, but it was called something else in America. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, one of them. Yes, I remember them now. They did lots of different versions. They did Tron and Donkey Kong and things like that. Seeing as how we're talking about minis, Litwarski, what do you make of the Amiga Mini that's coming out next year?
Well, I have experience about this PC Engine Mini.
Yeah.
My friend has one, and we played quite a lot of it with it, and it was fun experience.
I have a real PC engine, so I don't need any. I don't own any minis because I've got the big fat ones instead. Speaking of fat,
You got
big fat
the
belly.
real ones.
I do prefer the real ones, yeah. I definitely prefer the real ones to the minis. But I would like. I mean, I wasn't too impressed with the look of the Sega's Astro City Mini, but the Taito Egret Mini, it's going to have a rotating screen, so you can have vertical and horizontal shooters. And now that looks good, but it's only going to be released in Japan as well. So, and I think it's going to be about $200. So, I doubt if I'll be able to get one of them.
Minis.
And that's crazy. I mean, they're tiny. There's nothing to them. Oh, and I'm comfy in this chair as usual.
There's a hack out for them now, so you can get up to like 42 games on one of them.
What, in the little Game Gear Micro?
Yeah, Game Gear Micro.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh no. Silence. No. I can't think of something to ask.
Well, I would have picked up an Astro City Mini, but for what it had in it and the price, I was just like, yeah, that's just not for me at the moment.
There is a lot of these other things just now as well. I mean, there's the Evercade. The Evercade have just released their home console, the Evercade Versus.
Yeah.
And then you've got all these clones. I had a clone Mega Drive a few years ago. It looked like the Asian version. It had the big 16-bit on it, as opposed to the small 16-bit on my lovely PAL modded Mega Drive. It's just there. You can just see it there in the background. I do like the look of the Evercade and the Evercade Versus. Oh, what's he getting now? What's he? Oh, look at that. See, it says Sega Genesis on it though. Yeah. No, the Japanese one actually looks better.
Mega Drive was taken.
I've always liked the Japanese one better than the American one. I mean, I don't like the name Genesis. And why do they have to have it so chunky? Why can't it just look like Mega Drive? You know, why did I put my Mega Drive away over there now? Because I want to just grab it and say, look, it should look like this.
They're probably trying to make it take up the space like Mega Drive did, and so they had to expand it out or something.
Ah, but you see, they didn't have Mega Drive's not on that, but Mega Drive's in the very bottom right hand corner.
Oh, really?
Oh yes. Let me. You know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to get it. I'm going to show you.
Do it. Do it now.
See, I do have legs. So, now I've touched this up a little bit. And not in that kind of way, but I got a gold pen and I actually touched up the 16-bit because it was really badly faded. So you see there's no word Mega Drive there. It's down in the bottom corner.
Down the bottom.
Nice and neat, whereas the American version goes Genesis right at the top, which just looks silly. So we're going to compare now. Litwarski, you're going to have to lift up your Amiga to compare it now.
I wonder.
See that look? Gold pen, that looked amazing. So nice.
Yeah, the other one has silver.
Which one looks better, Genesis or Mega Drive? This quickly now.
I do like the title on the Sega Genesis.
Oh no,
but I like the name Mega Drive more.
That's it. Time to ban you.
But I like the colors on this, the black and red.
I do like, I do like the red. That's why I was planning on getting a Japanese Mega Drive, but then I thought, I've got that one, and it's been modified. I didn't actually show you the mod, did I? So a lot of mod on the side. Oh God, this is heavier than it looks. And the sticker says EU, click, US in the middle, and JP to the right. I'll just leave it in US. Still comes up PAL-M, but that's because I'm a little HDMI upscaler. When it is actually in NTSC. A little upscaler just doesn't like Mega Drives and NTSC. Right, let's talk Amiga because we've not talked enough Amiga yet. Poor old Litwarski's sitting there saying, come on, I want to talk about Amiga. Why do you love the Amiga? What is it about the Amiga that you love so much?
Well, it has to be nostalgia, but mostly. But maybe I start when I was a kid. I had three brothers. And they had systems like the C64 and 486 PC, and then Amiga. It was 500 or 1200 at the time, and I liked the Amiga most for some reason.
And is there a particular game that stands out to you that you remember from your childhood that you still play now?
Well, two games actually. There's Alfred Chicken, which is the first game I remember playing.
It's bad enough that you've got it on a t-shirt. Did you ever play this game on the Amiga?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That's an awful
Beat 'em
game.
up.
I felt I don't know why Lemmy even said, yeah, let's make a game and put me in it, and it's just a terrible game.
I think it's nice. As a beat
So
'em up.
Alfred Chicken and what else?
But the other one was James Bond 2.
James Pond.
Yeah.
Now that got
So that
ported
was,
to consoles as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Master
Yeah.
System, Genesis.
yeah.
But it was out first on the Amiga, if I'm right.
Sorry.
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was out first on the Amiga, wasn't it?
Sorry to hear.
I'm pretty sure it was out first on the Amiga, right?
Yeah, it was first on Amiga. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, it was by Vector Dean. I think.
You're not going to make me Google it, are you? Google everything these days.
Yeah. But yeah, I have fond memories of it. So I played a lot of it, and then one evening I was playing it much further than earlier tries, because I tried to finish it. It's a long game, and there are no saves. You just have to finish it
saves.
with one run. No. But anyway,
I wouldn't have
I tried to
bothered.
finish it, and I got frustrated at one level because it was so tough, and it eventually killed all my lives. And then I went crying, and my mother came and, what's the problem? I was so frustrated at this game that I decided to not collect the points just to go. I wanted just to go much further in the game. And then I decided otherwise.
And that
wanted
was
to collect the points also.
and that was just last week. He went crying to his mother about this game.
Yeah, 6 years old, or 5 years old.
So
eventually I finished the game, and then I could leave it at that.
well done for finishing the game. So what about these days? I mean, do you play the same games you played when you were younger? Do you play different games? Do you play like flight sims? Do you play RPGs? What kind of style of games do you enjoy playing the most? You stopped doing that with my hand.
Well, I like shoot 'em ups nowadays quite a lot.
Yes. Sorry,
Those are nice.
I do like a
Haven't
good shoot 'em
played-
up. The only
Sorry?
one of my favourite shoot 'em up and never got released on the Amiga, and I'm quite disappointed at that. Now, my favourite
Right.
shoot 'em up is a little known shoot 'em up made by Technos but released by Taito in the arcades, and it's called Slap Fight, and it is a real shoot 'em up. But it wasn't released on the Amiga. I don't think it was released on the ST as well, but it did get a port on the Mega Drive, and the Mega Drive has two versions of the game, and it's just fantastic. And yeah, I do like that. So, sorry, but I'm changing the subject again, back to what you were talking about. You were talking about your love for shoot 'em ups. So, I am going to guess that you're going to mention a certain shoot 'em up called Apidya. Is it Apidya?
Apidia is nice, but I was thinking more of Battle Squadron. That's a
Battle
great
Squadron. I don't think I've played that one. I have played
That's
Apidya.
also that is also on Mega Drive.
Ah, right, okay. Maybe I have played it then. Did it get a release under a different name at all?
No, it is Battle Squadron.
Owazrim's going to Google it now. Look, I can see him. He's Googling. He's going to look up for an image of Battle Squadron. So Apidya, I don't like Apidya because it's got insects in it. And I don't like insects. I especially hate wasps. And it looks like your main character looks like a wasp. I'm guessing it's not.
Yeah, I think it's a B.
I don't like bees. So what?
B or a wasp, I'd say.
What genre of games do you not enjoy? I don't like RPGs.
Yeah, I think that's the same with me. I've tried some, but very little.
It's just,
RPGs not for me.
I just find them too boring. owazrim, you like RPGs, don't you?
It's a love-hate thing. Like I love the original Phantasy Star. I love Shining in the Darkness. Those are both dungeon crawlers, and Shining in the Darkness. I mean, really fond memories of that because hand mapping everything out on grid graph
Oof.
paper, and I really enjoyed it. But now, just like the random battles, I've started Phantasy Star 2 in April, and I got to a part where you have to. I collected the cards for some dams, and you're supposed to go in there. So spoiler alert. But you got to go
Too
and
late.
insert the cards in the dams or something. And I got through, finished one of the dams, and the random battles. I was just like, I'm tired of it. I want to get to the next point. I was having lots of fun mapping stuff, but the battles were getting in the way, and there's just too many of them. And now it's just RPGs. They just take too much time. I don't have the time to dedicate to them, so I generally play other stuff, just action games and puzzle games and
Alf.
Elf.
Yep, you love Alf. We have here Alf's #1 fan. He's probably completed the game about 30 times, or maybe never
Only
at all.
about half a dozen.
Only about half a dozen. So he's went back to it 6 times. That's terrible. I mean,
More than that, the second time I beat it, it was just to show some people about some of the stuff in it, and I actually did well enough that I finished it. But I'm actually going to try and play it with the sports pad from the Master System, which that'll be interesting.
is there many games out for the sports pad? I mean, I know there's Missile Command. That's the only one I can think of that you could use the sports pad for.
Football, and you can use it for just about any of the games. There's some of them that it will not work with, and I don't think I've run into any of those because they're probably games I don't want to play anyways. But like the first time I played through East, and that's the one where you have to run into the enemies to kill them.
East?
East. Y-S.
Oh.
East.
I pronounce that as yes. Yes.
Wise.
Yes.
But I use the sports pad, or I just call it the trackball, and I beat the entire game with that for the first time playing it at all, and it was a lot of fun. So any game, I've gone back and played Golden Axe Warrior, and played a couple of the dungeons with the sports pad. I picked up Marble Madness a while back, and that's one that I haven't really played it yet.
Probably doesn't work with it.
But I hope it does. But I mean, I wanted it specifically because it would be fun to play with the sports pad. So I just like using the sports pad because it's different.
That's kind of like I remember watching a streamer playing. He played Resident Evil all the way through using a dance pad. You know, the dance mats you can get for dancing games. He played Resident Evil all the way through using the dance pad. It was just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Sounds weird, but if you knew what you were doing, I mean, I'm actually trying. I started the Sega Saturn version of Resident Evil, and
I don't like scary games.
It's not scary.
I don't like scary games. I remember picking up Resident Evil for the PlayStation when it first came out. I paid £50 for it. I played it for 5 minutes and I never played it since, and I haven't played it since.
Did you actually get through the intro?
I skipped the intro because I'd seen it on something else before, and I was like, oh, I'm not watching that. But the difference with the UK version is they actually cut out most of the intro. So even if I'd watched it, I wouldn't have seen the proper intro because it was cut. Even though they made it an 18, they chopped out the whole bit with the werewolf and stuff. You don't get to see it. I think as far as I got in Resident Evil was to the first zombie, where there's the video of he's eating somebody and his head turns around like that.
Yeah.
And that was it. No, switch off. I'm going to play Spyro instead. I don't play scary games. I've never played scary games. I don't like them. People were trying to get me to play Alien Isolation over Halloween. I was like, nope. Not going to happen. Nope, and it still hasn't. I just don't like them. What about yourself, Litwarski? Do you like scary games or scary films or scary stuff?
I think I don't scare too easily. I've played this game called Fear, I think. Fear.
That's a scary game.
Yeah, I suppose. I wasn't scared.
No, as you're not going to be scared of scary games because you've got a big scary ass beard, but it's got a little bird's nest in it and everything. Do you like scary stuff? Do you get scared
Not really.
easily? What
I'm
about
just not really a fan. I mean, I'll play stuff, but like I don't watch a bunch of horror movies. I don't know who a bunch of the bad guys are unless I've heard them talked about a bunch of times. Like, oh yeah, that's so and so, or who's this one from? But yeah, I'm not big on scary games. I mean, if I finish Resident Evil, it'll be the first Resident Evil game that I've played all the way through, and I hadn't really put much time in any of the other Resident Evil games. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I don't care for it.
Good. I don't like scary. I think we'll all agree that Steve doesn't like scary games. What other kind of games do you guys like? Litwarski, what other kind of games do you like? If you are at a friend's house and he doesn't have an Amiga, what kind of games would you find yourself playing?
The shoot 'em ups again.
Shoot 'em ups again. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Anything else?
Anything else? Well, I like also platformers.
They're okay. I mean, they're a bit. I was going to say
As
they're
long
a
as
bit.
it's not Psycho Fox.
I was going to say they're a bit repetitive, but shoot 'em ups are repetitive too. What about arcades? Did you guys ever frequent the arcades when you were younger? I spent half my teenage years in the arcades, and don't tell my dad. I spent half my school life in the arcade as well. So arcades, did you guys have any experience with arcades yourselves? What were the arcades like? And for yourself, Litwarski, was there any arcades in your area in Finland?
Well, as I said before, some time ago, I was kind of I failed to be born early enough to be in the arcades, so I have just used MAME to emulate this.
Nothing wrong with MAME. Yeah. Nothing wrong with MAME. I'm still a regular MAME user. I mean, I'll still stream playing arcade games on MAME. Probably most of the time you'll find me playing Slap Fight, because you don't get to continue in the arcade version, which really bugs me. So I've only managed to beat it once. But the Mega Drive version, you can continue as often as you like. Now, as I know arcades were big in America, so what about yourself? Did you get to arcades?
Yep, there was what I remember is there was a pizza place. I believe it's called Round Table. And they
ingenious
had
name for a pizza place.
Yep. But they had a little room off to the side. I'm trying to think. It was only big enough I think it might have only had arcades on one side, and you entered in on the back side, and it had 4 or 5 arcades. But I remember playing Captain America, some Street Fighter, some Mortal Kombat, even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game. Those are the ones I really remember putting some time into. Or
as we called it, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because the word ninja was banned in the UK because they were all a bit crazy. There's one arcade that stands out to me when I was younger. We were on holiday in this little village, had an arcade in the back of its shop. Had like maybe 5 or 6 machines, but the one machine that still sticks in my head is Sega's Sub Rock 3D. The arcade cab. It was like kind of like Battlezone. You know, they had the like goggle things. And that stuck in my head. But we had some good arcades in this town growing up. One that was connected to a snooker hall, and they got the newest games in all the time until they turned it into a nightclub, and then it was burnt to the ground. But there was one 30 miles away from me. It had about 8 stories, and they would get every single new game that was released, from your like Dragon's Lair to your full-size cockpits and rows of machines just everywhere. It was just amazing. So yeah, arcades were a big part of my gaming history, and I think we need a little just for that. So what about, see, we've spoken about arcades, we've spoken about consoles, computers. Waz, what about you and computers? I know you said earlier on you had a Commodore 64. Is there anything else that you had growing up, computer wise? Did you get in depth with any computer stuff, or you were always more of your into consoles?
Well, the Commodore 64 was the first one we got, and we had lots of games for that, so we played a good bit of that. And then before the Game Boy and the Genesis made it into the house, there was DOS games. I remember I bought a game at Costco, and we didn't have a mouse.
No mouse.
So we didn't have a mouse. It was DOS. It was an old game called Stronghold, and not the Stronghold that most people would know. This was based off of D&D, and you'd build up your town and go out and fight monsters, and you'd train you get to choose what class and warrior and what race they were, so you could send them off to go fight the bad guys.
And that was on, sorry, I missed, what system was that on?
It was on PC.
On PC, alright, okay.
Yep.
Same question to yourself, litwarski. Before Amigas and anything like that, did you have any other computers in your house that you got in depth with, like maybe a ZX Spectrum or a BBC Micro or a Commodore 64?
Yeah, so we had at the same time we had Amiga and Commodore 64 and PC with a 486 processor.
Well, you guys had too much money then. So what did you find?
Was 486? Did it have the turbo button?
Yeah, it had. Yeah.
There was one game on PC that we could play it on the 386. It was called Wings of Fury. You'd take off from an aircraft carrier. On the 486, if turbo was on, you would crash. Because however they did the clock cycles, you could not land. But if you turned off turbo, you could take off just fine.
See, I never had a PC until safe maybe mid-90s, and I was ripped off big style. It was like a Pentium 2, and I think I paid just under £1,000 for it, and I was big style ripped off for it because it was a heap of crap. It had the purest possible graphics card you could think of in it, and I had hardly any memory. I had a tiny hard drive, so it's just why when I get PCs, I build them myself. I'll buy the parts separately and I'll build them. But no, I didn't have any PCs. The earliest computer I had was probably my brother's Commodore 16, and then my friend had a Commodore 64, so we did a lot playing on that, but never any programming or anything like that at all. And my mouth is so dry, it's so warm in this room.
Is there anything that is coming out that anyone is excited for?
No.
Yeah.
Nothing. I had ordered a brand new Mega Drive game, and then I cancelled it because I thought £60 for a brand new Mega Drive game that I've never seen anything of and heard anything about. I thought, I won't bother. And there's another new Mega Drive game that's got a Kickstarter out at the moment. It's a beat 'em up, and it's called, I have it on my PC somewhere, or I may have deleted it. Thing is, I downloaded the demo, I put the demo on my EverDrive, and it wouldn't even play on my Mega Drive. So I put it on emulation, and it's awful. It's probably one of the worst beat 'em ups I've ever played. It is really, really bad, and it's got this fantastic name. I think it's in my recycle bin. I'm just going to check my recycle bin. I think it was Fury something, but it's really bad. Hi Amiga Gamer, how are you doing? You don't have to behave, dude. It's fine.
Steve's not behaving.
No, I'm not behaving. No, it's not. What was it called? So they've got a Kickstarter running just now. It's not reached its goal, and I hope it doesn't, because if anybody plays the demo, they'll realise just how bad it is. I mean, it is awful. The graphics are bad. The gameplay is bad. It's just terrible. I mean, I don't even know why they're
But are we
bothering.
talking about Steve standards or normal people's?
Both. It is. It's really bad. It's. I just wish I could remember. It's so bad I can't remember what it's called.
You blocked it from your memory? Get out.
I wonder where I must have put it somewhere. It's maybe in my. When I check my downloads.
The only thing that I'm kind of interested in is Metroid Dread, and I think that just released. But I'm hoping that there'll be some good sales this month, and I can pick it up for less than the retail price.
Less than the price of a cheese sarnie. I cannot think what it's called at all. Nope, it's not that. It's not that. See, it's not that good. I mean, I've already completely deleted it. It's that bad. But it was a fighter, and it was. I think they said it was like reminiscent of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and everything. It was just really, really bad. So let's ask the same question to you, litwarski, that owazrim asked, if there's anything coming out that you're looking forward to.
Not in the future, but in the recent past, there was this WarioWare game released on the Nintendo Switch.
A what game, sorry?
WarioWare.
A WarioWare, alright.
Yeah, it's a few months back, I think.
The WarioWare games are fun. Those are usually worth picking up. Steve, was it Paprium?
No, it wasn't Paprium, no. Paprium was released a couple of years ago. This one's Kickstarter still running.
Insane Pain.
That's it. And it is awful.
It was an insane amount of pain for Steve.
It was that bad. It was terrible. You download the demo yourself, play it. If you don't believe me, just play it. Seriously, just play the thing, and then you'll know that it's bad.
I'll just take your word for it. There's plenty of other stuff to play without having to play stuff that's just
okay then.
Playing.
I was looking forward to actually having a brand new Mega Drive game, and the other one that I ordered that I cancelled. It was called. What was that one called? It was kind of a mishmash between Metal Gear Solid, Mercs, Commando, all those kind of early Mega Drive scrolling shoot 'em ups kind of thing, and it was like an homage to that, but it had swearing in it as well, which I didn't think was needed. But what was it called? Okay, I can't remember what it's called. Amiga Gamer says he's played Demons of Asteborg recently. Lots of hype, way too repetitive. Anybody know what system that's on? Was that on the Amiga by any chance?
Was on the Genesis / Mega Drive. And I think I played the demo of it. The demo seemed like it was a lot of fun, but if it's just more of just the same thing for the rest of the game, then I could see that getting to be a little bit too much.
Mega Drive. So he's called Amiga Gamer, and he's talking about a Mega Drive game. For people watching this on YouTube, we're talking to whoever's in my Twitch chat, because I was streaming this live at the same time as I was recording it. So I apologise to everybody in YouTube land. Apologies, YouTube land. Now I just look like a twat waving to nobody.
Right. That's why we're not waving, it's just you.
All right, okay. Well, guys, I think now is a good place to wrap it up, because, you've got stuff you need to do. Who am I looking at? Right, see, I'm now, right,
Just
there. Middle of the afternoon for owazrim, so he wants to go spend time with his family, no doubt. Do you? Or do you want to play games?
They all play games. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have a Switch, because it's just like unless there's games that we're all gonna play, like Mario Party, WarioWare, Animal Crossing. Like it's like if I don't play it, it's not one of my main systems or something. It doesn't get played much. So I play with the Xbox One, and the Switch is just hanging out at the moment. Most of the games that we picked up for it haven't even been opened.
So what he means by it's just hanging out at the moment means it's sitting gathering dust.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I thought. See, that's what my PlayStation 3 does most of the time. Just off camera, I have my backwards compatible PS3 that I tend to just use for Blu-rays and nothing else. I mean, I put a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it, and I've maybe put 4 games on it because it takes forever to transfer them across. Because you have to do it. You can't do it. I've never thought actually if I could take the hard drive out and connect it to my PC and transfer them that way. I haven't tried, so I don't know. But it's got like 6 games on the hard drive. Do you play any console games, litwarski, at all, or are you just solely an Amiga gamer, like Amiga Gamer in chat, who plays his Mega Drive and Spectrum?
Yeah, I started getting some console stuff a few years back. So I have a Nintendo Switch now, and then I have the handhelds of 2DS XL by the Nintendo, and also a Game Boy Advance.
Amiga Gamer says Mega Drive has more fire buttons. That is very true. I do like my arcade control stick, arcade power stick. Arcade control stick? No, the control stick is the SMS one. Yes, I've got that exact same one, but mine says Mega Drive on it. Does yours creak as much as mine does? Does your knob creak? Have you got a creaky knob? Does it creak?
Nope.
You've put something in that. My knob
Nice
creaks a lot.
Nope.
I've got
my childhood one.
I've got a very creaky knob, I have to say. And I've opened it up and had a look at it. And did you say that's your childhood one?
Your control stick?
I don't like the control stick.
I think it's
Because
fine.
I mean, I've still
Plenty
got
games
one,
with
but it's the wrong way round.
But you're using your right hand on the controller instead of your left hand for.
Yeah, it's the wrong way round.
I think a lot of people have trouble with it, but
Yeah, I do.
I don't have any issues with it.
Growing up
can
playing
play it.
arcade games, everything was left hand joystick, right hand for buttons. Yeah, you know. So there's that. Right, guys, I think.
I wasn't in the arcade, so we had this. You could hold both sides.
Good for the Atari or for the Commodore 64.
Yeah, this work also on the Amiga, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have used to have a right hand on the stick and then left hand just for the buttons.
Yeah, we had one that looked like that growing up for the C64, but it was white with red buttons and a red joystick.
Yeah, I think they're the competition pros, aren't they? I do believe. Yeah. Amiga Gamer says early arcade games were right-handed. They swapped the sticks around to make the games more difficult. Not true, Amiga Gamer.
Yep.
Early arcade games had buttons on both sides, so you could choose. That is ugly.
I picked this up at a flea market, and it was just a couple bucks, and I was like, I don't have anything that can use this, but I remember playing with something like this.
Can you take out the
either
box?
at school or something.
Or is it still sealed?
No, it's.
Let's see the actual size of the stick. I'm interested in seeing the size of your shaft.
It's got the manual in it.
Wow. See, he just buys everything. You're like this other guy I know. He buys all the really, really old computers.
Ah.
Oh, see, it's so good it's stuck. I take it it's never been used. I mean, why would anybody want to use it?
But it's even got the styrofoam coming off on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look at the size of that stick, and it doesn't even stay centered.
No, but you've got stuff on the bottom you can mess with to try and get it more centered. It does, but early joysticks didn't. A lot of them didn't auto center.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You got your 2 buttons.
So is it a 9-pin adapter? Is it?
No. It looks more like the AV connection for a Commodore.
Bloody hell.
Or Genesis.
So what would you use that on? Does it say on the box what it would be used for?
It says Tandy. So Tandy 1000 or something.
Ah, that's for the Tandy 1000 home computer. I'm pretty sure there was a Tandy 1000. I am going to go to everybody's friend Google and have a little look. A Tandy 1000. Yep, there we go. Tandy 1000. It was a computer. Kind of looks like your old IBMs. Just standard desktop computer, really. Nothing exciting.
Sure. I think I might have a computer, old DOS machine. I wonder if that would work with it.
It was originally released in November 1984, 37 years ago. Wow, now I feel old because I was 14 when that was released. Ouch. So that was that, and you're going to try and fight to get that back in the box now, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're back in the box.
Right, guys, I think that's a good place to end it there. We've blathered on for just under an hour, and total frames dropped on Twitch is 10,262. That's a new record. So, guys, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully we will be back with another podcast in maybe a couple of weeks. I think we'll be more organised. We had no plans to actually stream this today, but I did ask the guys, and they said, yeah, just stream it and record it, and I forgot to record it. No, I didn't. I'm only kidding. I recorded it.
Well, even if you didn't, because it's on Twitch, you could actually download.
Yes, I know. But I'm going to plan on, I'm going to do some editing. I'm going to cut out all the bits with me talking, and we should have 5 minutes of fun left.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And pop your bubble. Sword of power.
Oh my god. Thinks he's He-Man now. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Yep.
We shall see you all in a few weeks' time for the next podcast, and hopefully on the next one we will have a special guest in window number 4, which you can't see because this is only 3 windows. But until then, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Litwarski.
Goodbye.
That way. And goodbye from owazrim down there.
Down here. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
Keep it retro.